In this video, I'm going to give you 7 key strategies to get 6 listings in 6 weeks. Let's get after it. Hey everybody, Todd Conklin. Welcome back to the show. Listen, I'm the trainer and coach for some of the top real estate professionals in the entire industry, sales warriors. And what I want to talk to you today about is specific strategies that they're using to do the one thing that all real estate professionals need to do, which is dominate listings. Listen, in this business, 87% don't make it. 13% that do make it on average make $47,000 a year. That's not winning in this business. There is a reason that sales warriors are doing better, and year over year, sales warriors are 113.6% up in their earnings. Why? Because they're focused on the one thing and the one thing only, which is listings. And we know if you focus on listings, not only do you last in the business, but you continue to grow and scale in the business. And that's life-changing stuff. That's legacy building stuff. So what I want to do is I'm going to walk you through the 7 strategies that you can use to dominate listings as the focal point of your business. So the number one strategy that sales warriors are using to get listings is focusing on expireds and withdrawals. Now, I want to frame this properly. People who have had their properties listed before and are no longer on the market have already demonstrated that they have an interest in selling their property. See, they had dreams associated with what they were going to do next. It just didn't work out. They thought they chose the right agent. They thought they were going to get what they wanted, and they thought they were going to be able to move on with their life. And it just didn't happen. So going into that conversation with some empathy and some understanding about, hey, their dreams didn't come true, but maybe you're the right person for the job, should change everything. There's a couple of ways that I would go about it. I am not a big proponent of going to the location and knocking on the door. I just think it's overly aggressive. If you can get their phone number, I like that the best. And you should just follow the scripts that you find in the Lethal Book of Scripts for the Sales Warrior. If you don't have that, I'll include a link below. But the script is really simple. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I noticed that your property is no longer on the market, and I just had a really quick question. If you got a full price offer today, would you still be interested in selling? So you've got to determine whether or not they really do want to sell. If you don't use that script and you just call and you just do small talk, probably what you're going to get is, I'm just going to relist it. I'm not interested. We've changed our mind. But if you start it with, if you got a full price offer today, would you still be interested in selling? You're going to find out very quickly whether or not they really have let go of those dreams. The other strategy that I love, if you don't have their phone number, is write them a personal note. It's got to be a personal note. It's got to be handwritten. It's got to have a little stamp on it. It's got to be in a little envelope, an invitation of some sort. And you're just simply going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I noticed your property is no longer on the market. I wondered if you got a full price offer today, would you be interested in selling? Another variation of that would be, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I noticed that your property is no longer on the market. If you're going to relist it with the other agent, please disregard this note. If on the other hand, you would be open-minded to hearing what I would do to market and sell your property, I'd love the opportunity to talk to you. Call me or text me at this number. Throw in a couple of cards, put it in the mail, and then you can follow up later with a phone call or a door knock. But you got to do that first. Okay. So number 1, focus on expireds and withdrawals. The number 2 strategy is circle prospecting around activity. And this applies for new listings, properties that have gone pending, and properties that have closed. Here's the great thing about this. It doesn't even need to be your property. If a property comes on the market, if a property goes pending, or if a property is closed, it gives you the opportunity to reach out to people around that property and just have a quick conversation. Again, all of these scripts are in the Lethal Scripts for the Sales Warrior. Please check them out. Follow the scripts, make them yours. But if a property is newly listed, the dialogue may sound a little something like the public service announcement. When the property goes pending and closed, you're probably going to be focused on, I have a buyer, or this is going to change the value of your home. When it does, would you like to know about it? So number 2 is circle prospecting. Number 3, sales warriors are focused on their past clients and their sphere of influence. Now the question comes down to, well, how do I activate my past clients in sphere of influence specifically for listings? As you know, we talk about the 12-month call cadence. That's staying top of mind. That's awareness. that's providing value. One strategy that you can use to really focus in on listings is the CMA a day. If you haven't seen our structure for the CMA a day, make sure you search our YouTube channel for CMA a day, and I've got a video in there that teaches you specifically how to do this. Sorry for the interruption. I don't have anything to sell here today. What I do know is the data tells me that 54% of you are watching the videos to the end. 46% are watching the videos but not subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor. Drop down, hit the subscription button, hit the notification button, and make sure you don't miss any of our Sales Warrior training. Back to the video. But look, everybody wants to know what the value of their property is. So as you look at your database, as you look at your CRM, you're going to be focused on people that you have sold a home to and those people that are part of your sphere of influence that own a home. By providing them the current market valuation of their property, what you're doing is you're getting people thinking, wow, I knew my property was up, but I didn't realize it was that far up. It's also putting you as the knowledge broker. If they were thinking about maybe doing something different, now they've got real tangible evidence that you're the person for the job. So number 3 is focus on your past clients and sphere of influence. Number 4 is focused on absentee owners and landlords. Y'all, look, the world of being a landlord is not all glitz and glam. It is a grind, and oftentimes people get into it thinking it's going to be a lot easier than it is. In addition, in many states, there are law changes that are happening that are making it more and more hard to be a landlord. They're much more tenant favored. So you may have some people who are landlords that are absentee owners that are just thinking, gosh, maybe this isn't worth it. And so for you, what you want to do is you want to buy a list. What I would do is go to title company. This is a great resource for you, and have them provide you a list. Comb through that list. I would target those properties that are a little bit older, because those are the ones that tend to have higher cost of ownership, if you will. I would target those first. But what you're going to be doing is you're either going to reach out via phone or you're going to send them a letter and just say simply that, hey, look, I know being a landlord is increasingly more difficult. If you have had any thoughts of potentially selling your property, I have a pool of buyers that might be interested in acquiring them. And here's my phone number. Give me a call, send me a text. If I can do anything for you, please let me know. In the meantime, I do provide a free market analysis for your property. If you're interested in what the current market value of your home is, your rental is, your property is, please let me know. I'd be honored to do it. All right. So again, these scripts can be found in the Lethal Book of Scripts. But when you talk about absentee and landlords, you're really talking specifically about how it's really gotten harder. And a lot of people, after a little bit of time, they think, gosh, you know what, I think I might take that property and take that money and allocate it in a different place. The number 5 strategy is to connect with divorce attorneys, probate attorneys, anybody who maybe focuses on estate planning, but later in years. And the way you want to do this is based on building some rapport. You're going to have to reach out once you've done your research to identify who those big players are in your marketplace. Reach out to them, make the introduction, explain to them what it is that you do and why they should be doing work with you. Offer something of value to them. When you're doing estate planning or when you're doing probate or when you're doing divorce, oftentimes the attorney is going to need to get some kind of evaluation, as an example, of the property so that they can negotiate or design their strategy. And so offer that as a free service to them. Offer to give them information about what's going on in the market. This is a bit of a longer term strategy, but if you do it properly, you're going to get some low-hanging fruit right out of the gates. The key to this strategy is to make sure that you're constantly checking in. So after you've made the initial engagement and introduction, make sure that you are sending them personalized information. Make sure that you make a phone call once a month, once every 2 months at the absolute latest, and have conversations with them about how you might be able to serve them. Number 6 on the Sales Warrior strategy to dominate listings is going to be for sale by owners. I know a lot of agents don't like working for sale by owners. They have concocted all of this drama that's going to take place the moment they pick up the phone. I'm going to make it really simple for you. These are people who want to sell their home. Most of them are just trying to get the highest price for their home, and they think that by selling it by owner, they can get more money for themselves. Now, we know the data and we know that's not true. And we know that if they're represented by a real estate agent, they get more than 30% more for the property. And so what they're trying to do is save 6%, but what they're really doing is leaving 30% on the table. But rather than approaching them with that, we know that they want to sell, and we know that we are the right people to sell it. So I like the strategy of picking up the phone and simply having a conversation with the seller that sounds a little something like this. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I see that you're trying to sell your property. I understand that you're trying to do it by owner. I'm sure you've got some very good reasons for that. The reason I'm calling today is because I represent many clients in your area, both sellers and buyers, and my job is to make sure that I know everything that is on the market. And so I'm just wondering, if I had a buyer for your property, would you entertain that offer? Would you pay me a commission for representing my buyer? See, I'm taking it away from me trying to sell their property and me being the buyer's representative. What that does is it gives you the opportunity to schedule an appointment for you to go in and preview that property. While you're there, you can build relationships and you can offer some things of value. Y'all, we all know the talk tracks. Again, you can find them in the book, but they need to know what title is. They need to understand the whole lender relationship. They need to understand the inspection process, the appraisal process. There's contracts that need to be written. They need to understand representation laws. It's a scary place for anybody to be doing it on their own. And so what you're going to do is provide value, knowing that if they don't sell their property within the right period of time, that they're going to be seeking the representation of an agent, and it might as well be you. And lucky number 7 is social media. And specifically what we're talking about is, more and more these days, there are groups that are for neighborhoods, as an example, or for general areas and things going on, and moms groups, etc. Consider joining these groups that are appropriate for you to join and be a source of value. If somebody's asking for a painter, for example, well, there is nobody more qualified than you to provide a preferred vendor list, a list of the best painters that have been vetted, that you trust. Provide value to them. And if these groups don't exist, the saying, if the group doesn't exist, build it yourself. Consider building your own group and inviting people to a neighborhood group that you can be sharing what's going on. Lost dogs, have you seen what's going on? I'm looking for a roofer, what have you. And then engaging in that. But don't be sleazy. This is all about, hey, this is who I am. I'm a real estate agent. I happen to specialize in this neighborhood. I'm not going to be asking every single one of you for a listing, although if you want to sell your house, I'm probably the right guy for it. But if you need anything, like if you need a preferred vendors list, if you've got some questions about what the current market is doing, what the value of your property is, I'm the guy. No strings attached. All right, so I just gave you 7 key strategies to get 6 listings in 6 weeks. There are 2 kinds of people, y'all, that watch these videos. And if you watch to the end, you get to answer the question, which one are you? There are those that watch these videos, they take notes, they get inspired, they get the information, and then they don't do anything with it. And then there's those that take one thing and they immediately get off this video and they put it into action. Those people change their businesses. Those people change their lives. Those people become sales warriors. Which one are you going to be? If this had anything in it that you found valuable, I want you to do me a favor. In the comments below, tell me the one thing that you're going to execute on right now. You're going to be the second type of agent that takes massive action. Right now, put in the comments, what is it that you're going to do? And if you know somebody that needed to watch this video, make sure that you share this with them, and I'll see you on the next video.